Hello and welcome to the channel. This is David, aka Speedy Gimp 313. This video is going to be about my overall impressions of my 2015 Camaro after having it for just over 2 years. So let's get this underway. Okay guys, so as I stated, I've had this car for roughly 2 years, maybe a little bit more, and I have to say I am impressed with it. Of course, I was coming from a full-size Chevy Avalanche, so obviously for me the performance and the handling feels a lot more, I guess thrilling would be a good word, than what it might feel to someone who has spent more time in a higher performance car such as a Camaro SS or a Camaro ZL1 or a Corvette or anything of that nature. But for me, the performance feels good out of the V6. I only went with the V6 simply because insurance cost on the V8, whether it was SS or ZL1, was actually going to be more than the note itself, and that's just not something I can justify or make myself do, at least not at that point in my life. Now, down the road I would obviously love to get into a ZL1 or even an SS, but if I could pick anyone, it would definitely be the ZL1 with the 10-speed auto. Other than that, guys, you know, as I said in the introduction, the plan for this channel is to turn this into a time attack road course car, but still keep it where I can drive this every day, because as of right now, this is my daily driver. Now I hope to change that at some point in the future, but we'll discuss that in another video when it gets closer to that actually happening. And other than that, guys, I really don't know what to say. I've had the car for, as I've stated, just over 2 years. It has roughly around 23,300 miles on it right now. I haven't had a chance to put it on a track or somewhere where I could really see what the limits are. Now, I have driven it somewhat aggressively in Mexico, never in the US, but overall I am happy with it. But I've reached a point now where, even though I'm happy with the car's overall performance in its stock form, I do want more out of it. I want better handling. I want smoother and faster acceleration. I would obviously like to get rid of the governor that shuts it off at 118 miles an hour. Different things like that. And, you know, because I know when you buy a car, most cars are not going to perform to their maximum capability right from the dealership. So there obviously is some room for improvement, and I'm going to bring you guys along as I do that and begin to make modifications to the car to make it perform and handle better. Just to give you guys a little bit of background, I've grown up around cars and trucks and pretty much anything you can think of. My first car was a 1986 Camaro RS, which I'll put a picture in the video here. And for several years I raced ATV motocross, and I'll put some pictures of that in here. Outside of that, guys, I've always grown up modifying cars. I've never had a vehicle that I did not do some sort of modification to. I've never went crazy as far as like a custom built motor and things like that. But you know, bolt-on mods, intake, exhaust, programmer to reflash the ECU, things of that nature. And hopefully with this build I'll get a little more in depth than that, but we'll see what the future holds. I've also, you know, growing up, going through school, I had posters of the typical cars on my wall. The Lamborghini Countach, Lamborghini Diablo, the first gen Dodge Viper. So growing up as a kid, I had all those posters on my walls, and ever since I can remember as a young kid, and I'm saying 4 or 5 years old, I could always be just mesmerized by racing in general. And it didn't matter the format. It could be road course, it could be drag racing, it could be NASCAR. It didn't matter what it was. If it was going fast, I was interested in it. So I just want to give you guys a little bit more about my background, so you understand that I'm not just some guy that knows basically nothing doing this. I do have some background and have always had a passion for high performance vehicles, or making a vehicle perform better than it originally did. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, guys, another thing that's unique about my channel is the fact that I have a disability and I drive with hand controls, which basically means I don't use my feet for the gas or the brake. I use my left hand to control the gas and the brake and steer with my right. And I'll probably make a detailed video about that in an upcoming entry if you guys are interested. Be sure to let me know down in the comments.